I want us now to go look at how they give us these ratios. And now you're going to see why I say to you, be careful to make this your primary source of info. Make this your security net. If you can't remember, then you go back. But it's extremely important to have everything in place. So now look at this. I'm going to show you. Here is current assets to current liabilities. This is my current ratio, current ratio, and I'm going to number it again. This is number 1. Okay. Then I see here they give me current assets less inventory, and they give me trade and other receivables plus cash equivalents. Can you see? This is the asset test ratio.
Yes.
And can you see this is number 2? Okay. Then they give me average debtors on credit sales. That credit must come here at the bottom. On credit sales. Okay, so average debtors on credit sales. Remember, the moment they say average, just write there for yourself at the top. The moment you see the word average, let me not confuse you, average, then it's half opening plus closing. Or you can write it, or you can write it opening plus closing, divided by 2. Okay, so that's what average means. So now let's go back. So average debtors. Now I see here average creditors on cost of sales. Can I say to you, that cost of sales can also be replaced with credit purchases if you have that available. Okay, so that would be number 3 and number 4. And here I see they've got average stock on cost of sales.
Ma'am, please reverse back to the credit purchases. Please.
Okay, so a creditor is someone I owe money to, right? So can you see here, with average debtors they use credit sales. Now can you see here, they use cost of sales. But what did we tell you about cost of sales? Cost of sales, was the cost of the goods that I sold. But I already told you, everything I sell, I replace, on the shelf. In other words, my purchases will be equal to my cost of sales. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So now I will not use my total purchases because some of it is on credit, is cash. So if they gave me purchases, credit purchases instead of cost of sales, I can use credit purchases.
So you're forgiven both to use credit purchases?
Either one they will mark right.
Okay.
So in the memo, if they gave you both, in the memo they will take both as right. Okay, so average stock on cost of sales, I know that is stock on hand. That's ratio number 5. And cost of sales on average stock, that is stock turnover. Okay. And can I say to you, can you see stock turnover doesn't have a times anything? But you know how I remember that? Is everything is times, everyone here is times, except this one, because the answer is in times. It will be, 6 times a year, 700 times a year. Okay, so that one doesn't have the times sign, but the unit in the end is times. Okay, so the yellow one is my liquidity. Okay. I want you to see something. I want you to see something. Can you see the yellow? Can you see that here's a very specific one that's not yellow, in between the yellow? Yeah. Because they want to confuse you. Can you see why you can't just take an information sheet and use it as it is? You need to familiarize yourself with it because this is a map. And as you know, accounting is against time, so you don't have time to go guess where stuff is. Yeah. Okay. Can you see that ratio is not a liquidity ratio? Okay. So just remember that. So I've got my 6 liquidity ratios. Quickly name them. Current ratio, asset test, debtors collection, creditors payment, stock on hand, stock turnover. Okay. Now we get to number next, the risk one. Now whenever they ask you about something being a risk, or they talk about a loan or whatever, I've got 2 ratios for that. Okay? And the 2 ratios I got is my debt equity ratio and this is a new one you've never done, and it's got the longest formula you'll ever hear. And this would be the ROTCE. And you can abbreviate it like that. They don't mind if you abbreviate like that. And what does ROTCE stand for? It stands for return on capital employed. Now, capital employed, and I need you, please guys, please remember this, because sometimes they will tell you, they will give you information and say this is capital employed, or they will ask you what is the capital employed or whatever. Capital employed is she plus loan. What is she? She is ordinary share capital and retained income. Can you see capital employed is the money working for the company. Now if you're employed, you work for the company. So this is the financing of the company. How is the company financed? He's financed by the shares he issued, the money he saved from the profit, and loans. Can you see that? Okay. Now, let's go to debt equity and ROTCE here. Now, can you see? Here's my beautiful debt equity ratio. There, in between liquidity. This is debt equity. Now, I have a way of remembering it. I say it's loan to she. Okay. So I'm going to number this one a Latin one. Okay. Is it Latin or Greek or Arabic or Roman? A Roman one. Okay. So I say debt equity is loan to she. It helps me remember because I tend to swap the two. So let me tell you a story. So boys, we all know that girls like a guy with a car better than a guy without a car. Yeah. But now, please listen. Go with the story. Go with the story. So, before you can get a car, what do? You take a loan. So you first need the loan before you can get the girl. You see? Loan to she. And I'm using a car because this is a gearing ratio. And what's inside a car? Gears. Right. Okay, you guys got it. So first the loan, then the girl. Okay. Now, what did I tell you? What is she? It's your ordinary share capital and retained income. Okay, now I want you to show you the other one, the other little blue one. See, I deliver here. This is my Rotki. Okay, so in other words, the blue ones is the, and I'm going to write here, it's the risk, it's the gearing. Okay. Now remember, and I'm not going to talk about risk and gearing now, because that's for our interpretation of the ratios. Today we just want to be able to calculate the ratios, and I also just want to make sure that you understand the format sheet. Okay, now look at this ratio. It's the net in, now just keep in mind, what is it that we want to calculate? What information do I need? I want to know if, number one here, debt equity, how much do I make use of borrowed capital compared to own capital? Borrowed funds to own funds. Ne? That's what I want to see with this one. With this one, I want to see if it was worth it. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I want to see. Now remember, the moment they talk return, return is something coming back to you. So they want to know, how much did we get back by using the combination of my own funds and the borrowed funds? How much did I get back? Okay? So what are they doing? Can you see they take the net profit before tax? Right? This isn't about the shareholders' return and what they're going to get back. This is about how much is the loan, how much is my funds earning me, and me being the company. Okay, so it's net income or net profit before tax and interest on loans. Ne? So I want to add back the interest on loan. Then I take the average shareholders' equity plus the average non-current liabilities. And in this way here, can you see this is a difficult ratio to remember like that. So I have a different way to write it. I write it like this, and now all my papers are already used. Let's use this one. So I do it like this. I say it's net profit plus interest over half she plus loan plus she plus loan, and obviously times 100. And obviously this would be the old year and this would be the new year. So you'll take the opening balances, the opening, and you'll add the closing balances. Okay. And can you see now it looks a little bit more, if we can handle this. And know it, of course I've got a song, but it's net profit before tax, ne? I forgot that. It's before tax. So yes, I have a song for this, so let me teach you. Who else wants a new one? No?
New video. Like, I think my attention span is 13 minutes. It's a lot.
I'm going on. Let's go on. Let's go on. So return is always about the shareholders, right? So the shareholder wants to look at this and he wants to see, what am I getting out of the deal? So for return there's 3 ratios. Can you all pay attention? There's 3 ratios. The first ratio would be the ROSHI. Now don't confuse ROSHI with ROTKI. ROTKI has to do with the loan. So at the bottom it's she plus loan. ROSHI, read it. It tells you what it is. It's the return on shareholders' equity. Can you see? It tells you what it is. This one tells you it's a return on the capital employed. Can you see? Okay, so Roshi is the one, EPS is the other one, and DPS is the other one. Which makes sense, because what's the EPS? It's my net profit after tax, ne? It's my earnings per share. What is my dividends? What of that earnings am I getting? You guys get it? Okay. Now, let's go look at this. So can you see? I'm going to do this in orange. I want you to please look. Oh, I didn't say this is number 2. Okay. So, net income, please, you guys. Net income after tax. Why not before tax? Why after tax? Why? Because, obviously, this is about the shareholders. Do they care about the tax? No, they care about what is left and how much of what is left are they going to get. That's what they care about. Okay, so we're going to make this number 1. Okay, this is Roshi. I actually had a boy in when I started teaching, his name was Roche. It's beautiful name. And he spelled it like that, but with a C. It's beautiful, Roche. Let's go on. Let's go on. The next one, can you see it's the same? Net income after tax, but now they take the number of issued shares. Can you see it's the same ratio? It's just a bit different. This is my EPS. Because what is my earnings in rand? My earnings in rand is net profit after tax. What's my earnings per cent? It's my net profit after tax over shares. Ne? Okay? And the third one is this one here. Can you see again? They are not in the same space. And they give you 3 here. This is your DPS. So why 3 for dividends per share? Now can you quickly look here? So this is number 3, ne? So quickly look at this. Dividends per share. It tells you, remember what I said to you here when we did the on thing. The same is true for the per thing. Ne? So the moment they use the word on or they use the word per, you know you're going to divide. Okay? So now, why is there 3? This one is my total dividends. So if they give you your total dividends and that's the only information, you use this one. But the problem comes in if you issued shares or repurchase shares during the year. Because then your number of shares is most changing. Yeah. So you're going to work out your interim separate and your final separate, and that would give you the total. So you can use this one if there's no change in the number of shares. But if the shares changes, you're going to work out the interim and the final separately, add them together. Now can I tell you, in tests, in exams, what they do is, usually it's this one, and they will give you one of the 2 already. They will say the company declared 15 cents interim dividend. Ne? And then they'll give you information to calculate the final dividend. But then you have to remember to add the final with the interim they already gave you. Okay, this is a favorite one. Sharp. So we've got those 3. Now, if I look further, so the thing is now the dividend payout policy. Okay, the issue repurchase. This one here. Remember, you have three prices. You have three values for shares. Okay? So what is the three values? The three values for shares is number one, your issue price or your repurchase price. Okay? Your issue price or your repurchase price. The second value is your market price. What is your market price? It's the price on the JSE. It's your supply demand price. And the third one is your NAV. Now what is the NAV? It's the net asset value. So in other words, what is an asset? It's something good, it's what you own, ne? Yes. Okay, so net asset value of the share is the current value of the share inside the company. Okay, so if I look at NAV, I know my green looks the same as my blue on the screen, but here it won't, so I'll take a photo and send it on the group. But I want you to look for the NAV. Okay, I'm going to do it really. Can you see it's a little bit different, ne? That one. So that one is your NAV. Now can you close the door for me please? Can I quickly just make sure you understand that this is your favorite one? Because this one is going to be she over shares. Now, so just scratch that number off out because you've got the issued shares there. Let me explain to you. We all know that girl, ne? You know she is a girl. And we all know that girl who likes to tell stories. But sometimes she overshares. You see?
She overshares.
You get it? It's the girl who tells too much. She overshares. Okay, I will explain to you later how it all works. Just be sure that you know today's whole purpose is that you know the ratios. Okay, and now we are still left with these two. This one here, it's the break-even point. Ne? This is paper 2. Paper 2. It's not paper 1. Okay. So, but this one, can you see here at the bottom? So this one here is the dividend payout policy. So they're not going to ask you to calculate it in question 2, right? This is a question 3. And in question 3, you're going to have to calculate it to comment. Okay, so I will explain this one to you when we do comments. I just want you to do these ones, because these ones, I need you to get 100% for this. Okay, so let's quickly go and I'm going to